Hello friends, hope you are all fine and doing well. We are into the discussion of this book called What I Talk About When I Talk About Running by Haruki Murakami. We have already covered 4 chapters from this book and today we shall be starting the summary of chapter 5. I have shared the links of all the previous chapters in the description below. So let's start. The title of this chapter 5 is Even If I Had a Long Ponytail Back Then. As you can see, it's a very unusual title and we will discover its significance later in this chapter. Murakami starts this chapter 5 with the description of summer at Boston. He says that every summer in the Boston area, there are few days which are very unpleasant. If one can get through those days, then rest of the summer days can be managed. And he further talks about what students and rich people do to manage themselves during those very hot summer days. I remember the book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In his first habit, Be Proactive, he talks about 2 circles. The circle of concern and the circle of influence. Circle of concern deals with those things which are outside our control and we can just do nothing about it or have very less control. And in circle of influence falls those things which are completely under our control. So a good example to understand these circles can be this summer of Boston, where few days are so unpleasant that people feel like cursing everything. These summer days fall under the circle of concern, as nothing much can be done about to change the weather condition. But the steps which people are taking to manage themselves by moving out or to travel for few days, like students are enjoying at Riverside, these activities fall in the circle of influence. In life, one must take responsibility of things. Instead of blaming circumstances, one must focus on the circle of influence. Next, he talks about the winter at Boston and describes the beauty of river and nature. In my personal opinion, nature has always inspired writers of all generations and will continue to inspire future generations also. Nature motivates and inspires us. We human are the inseparable spark of nature. Nature gives us a sense of peace and well-being, an escape from the rat race and a calming influence on our soul. Next, while expressing beauty of nature, Murakami writes, I am aware of myself as one tiny piece in the gigantic mosaic of nature. I am just a replaceable natural phenomenon, like the water in the river that flows under the bridge towards the sea. Murakami says, we are just a tiny piece in this universe. Do we realize how small we are? How extremely tiny we are in comparison to this vast universe and the trillions of galaxies. Most of us live our life trying not to remind about this tininess. Maybe we are not comfortable to remind ourselves of this truth. Our massive ego is not going to take us anywhere. We must be happy, humble, and be grateful that we have got this life. And we may not get this life again. So, here we complete the first part of this chapter 5. And here are its key points. Number 1, instead of complaining, we should take responsibility of our life. Number 2, we are just a tiny piece in this vast universe. We will continue this chapter in the next video. Thank you.